Rachel Zegler is at it once again at what you might ask, well, opening her mouth and saying things that really don't sound coherent. Yes, this time the 24-year-old actress born in 2001 is claiming both that she was around at the dawn of the internet, that apparently the dawn of the internet was in the 2010s, and that during the 2010s there was no Latina representation in acting or magazines or advertisements at all. Wow. Zegler leaves us a lot to have to clean up after the dish drops. Welcome once again to the greatest audience on YouTube. That's you, the most intelligent, high IQ audience out there, to another exciting edition of Dish Drops with me, your host, yours truly, Ron E. Bradley, the internet's Mr. Nice Guy. As you come on in to the video, please do click that like button down below. If the hype button's down there, click on that hype button. We appreciate that too. We've got some news to break down about Rachel Zegler, and wow, you're going to want to watch to the end of this one for everything that she had to say and how we break it down here on Dish Drops. And with that, let's bring on the panel. Coming to us out of X. And this is my own post, but it's my post sharing somebody else's post, and this is about Rachel Zegler. She's back. We didn't ask for her to be back. It's coming to us out of, I believe, Bazaar, which that kind of makes sense because
that fits it.
Yeah, it absolutely fits it. But anyway, so this is my post out of X, and I wrote what I'm writing here was quoting what she says, and you'll see it because I'm going to play it because I think it's okay. I think it's safe for me to play. I'm sharing this from Steph Annie, My Nerdy Home. Steph Annie wrote, she's the first ever Latina in big pieces of media. And then I wrote on this, and you'll see why when I play it, if you haven't seen it yet. She says, when I was younger. And I'm thinking, what? Like just a decade ago? That was the freaking 2010s, you child. Did you only view stuff from the 1940s? Sheesh, Rachel, the best thing you can do for yourself is just stop. You dig your own hole with this ignorance. Where are her parents? Let me put this on the screen. Let's play the clip. Again, it's out of Harper's Bazaar, and she says something bizarre.
When I was younger, my approach to beauty was a lot more shaped by what I was witnessing in big pieces of media. So it was who was on magazine covers, who was in the beauty commercials, who was in movies, and was considered like the most beautiful movie star at the time. It was definitely very Eurocentric as I was growing up. And being a young Latina, that was hard because not a lot of people looked the way that I did, or they didn't have bushy eyebrows like I did. They didn't have dark eyes like I did. So as I've grown up, I've really been able to find it within myself, which is really nice. And I'm sure the dawn of the internet is both a helpful and hurtful thing for that, because I was able to find other people like me, but then I was also opened up to a whole nother world of comparison. But I have a frontal lobe now, and that's been really helpful.
I'm not sure how helpful it's being, Rachel, because you don't seem like you're using that frontal lobe a whole heck of a lot when you make statements like that.
Well, I'll give her the benefit of she didn't go totally off the deep end. She didn't get emotionally weird.
Weird.
No, okay, so she didn't get emotional about it. She was born in 2001. Did you hear her talk about being alive during the dawn of the internet? The 25. Dawn of the internet was literally a full decade before that child was born. 1991.
Somebody should ask her if she knows what a BBS system is.
I'm like, I don't, Go and Shogi has a statement. Yes. She acts like she's lived a full, not privileged life. She's more full of it than a litter box. I can't.
But the litter box is easier to clean up.
All. It's that statement is absolutely 100% ridiculous. But also, here's the problem with that statement. That statement is insulting to every single Latina that I can think of out there. Look at this. This article, pretty brand new article published February 4th, 2026. Hispanic actresses who were everywhere in the 2010s. The 2010s was the age that Rachel grew up in. These are Hispanic, they were everywhere. Hispanic actresses were and are everywhere. 2010s marked a significant era for representation as Hispanic actresses took center stage in some of the biggest television shows and blockbuster films of the decade. These talented performers broke barriers and moved beyond stereotypical roles to lead major franchises and critically acclaimed series. Audiences saw them dominate genres, ranging from superhero action films to heartfelt sitcoms and gritty dramas. Their influence expanded globally and paved the way for a new generation of Latin talent in Hollywood. This list highlights the actresses who maintain a constant and impactful presence on our screen throughout those 10 years. Look at the list. Sofia Vergara, Zoe Saldana, Jennifer Lopez. I think people have heard of J-Lo. Let's see, Michelle Rodriguez. You have Rosario Dawson, Aubrey Plaza, Gina Rodriguez. How many of these people are Eurocentric, by the way? America Ferrera, Eva Longoria, Selena Gomez. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You have Marina Baccarin, Stephanie Beatriz, who, by the way, who played Mirabelle, so she voiced Mirabelle, Melissa Fumero, and both in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Dasha Polanco. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. And then you have over here, Ranker. Ranker has the best Hispanic and Latina actresses. That list goes on. All of these young ladies were around while Rachel Zegler was growing up, people. What on earth? What on earth? I don't seriously. Where I saw this comment, no Latinas in media in the last 20 years. What are you talking? I mean, you're kidding, right? Like, they're literally everywhere, and not just on telenovelas and not just on. A lot of the stuff that we watch. I mean, we watch a lot of Hispanic, like specifically Latin TV in our household, which I really enjoy. But I mean, in American stuff, they were everywhere. MJ, do you have trouble finding Latin actresses that you can relate to over the last 10, 15, 20 years?
I mean, not really, but I kind of just I have a different look on life. I look at everyone. I don't see color or race. I look at everyone as the same. So I'm probably the worst person to talk to about this. And I'm raising my kids the same way. I don't know. It's just weird for me. I don't know if it was my upbringing, the way my parents, I was born in Miami, don't get me wrong, but I was raised in Georgia, in Conyers, Georgia. So I don't know. With me, I'm raising my kids not to see race and not to judge by the appearance or looks of anyone. I'm actually kind of over it with the whole, we got to look like this. We got to look like that. If you're too skinny, you're too skinny. You're too fat, you're too fat. You need to take, and then the era of GLP-1s and Ozempic and everyone's anorexic.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm just over the whole plastic thing. The Kardashians, when they debuted their show and everyone wanted to have dunk in their trunk and plastic everywhere. Like, I'm just over everything. I just wish we could just go back to the good old times where humanity embraced and loved everyone, regardless if you were yellow, black, or brown. I'm probably the worst person to talk to about this. I'm so sorry.
MJ, the junk in the trunk thing, I used to love 12-inch subwoofers in my trunk of my car. What are you talking about?
You and Jose will have a ball together, because that's what him and his brothers work on. The whole car, they tune cars and they race cars and all the. Any questions you have about that, you can ask him. He'll help you with open arms.
Yeah, we'll get along fine.
That's a good song, Open Arms.
But if he hugs me too tight, Linda might get jealous.
Oh no, you'll love him. He's a teddy bear. He's a good guy.
Well, our good friend Marvin Montanaro is over there writing for Geeks and Gamers and writes this story about what Rachel Zegler said. Rachel Zegler claims she grew up without Latina beauty icons in media. Reality tells a very different story. And this is out of geeksandgamers.com. Bookmark it if you haven't done so yet, by our good friend Marvin Montanaro. There she is with Snow White in Snow White. Rachel Zegler
I call it Snow Dirty in this.
Yes, no dirty. Rachel Zegler is facing once again a renewed backlash after comments from a recent Harper's Bazaar interview circulated online, in which the Snow White star suggests she rarely saw women who looked like her represented in beauty and media while growing up.
Zegler, I was going to say something, but it's really mean, and I'm going to be a better person than that.
That's good of you, Tom. Zegler, who is currently only 24 years old and half Polish, half Colombian, reflected on how she viewed beauty standards as a young Latina. Check out her claims along with images that dispute them, put together by Steph Annie of My Nerdy Home in the video below. That's the one that we showed you earlier. When I was younger, she says, this is her quote, when I was younger, my approach to beauty was a lot more shaped by what I was witnessing in big pieces of media, she said. So it was who was on magazine covers, who was in beauty commercials, who was in movies and considered the most beautiful movie star at the time. It was very Eurocentric as I was growing up. I don't know what era she grew up in, because literally I watched a lot of stuff in the 2010s, which was her growing up age. And it was a lot of Latina representation, which I'm perfectly fine. I'm fine with. My beautiful wife from Venezuela, she's great. That's my queen, so I'm totally cool with it.
I'm perplexed by her saying that. Other than maybe that somebody didn't give her a script to read.
Either that, or like what was she, what was she being spoon fed in her home? Like, I mean, you couldn't really miss it. That could be the
reason because isn't she from my damn old state, New Jersey?
She's from Jersey.
So you don't know. I mean, we just don't know. At that point, I won't judge somebody by the way they were brought up. It's beyond their control. You're a child. But to reflect on it like this is,
it's just weird.
Control. You can do things differently.
The line where she says it was very Eurocentric as I was growing up, and being a young Latina, that was hard because not a lot of people looked the way I did. Did she miss Ugly Betty? I mean, I've seen every episode of Ugly Betty, and that starred America Ferrera.
I would like to know where in New Jersey she came from. We should look that up.
I don't know, but I also watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which was big in the 2010s, and the two main stars of that are Latina actresses. And they're just like, we're all over it. Like the last decade, Sofia Vergara, obviously, J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, huge, right? I mean,
I never took on to any of those people. I am so sorry. I am the worst. I think I should just mute my microphone. I never liked J-Lo. I can't stand J-Lo. Sofia Vergara gives me the ick. I just can't deal with any of these hoochie mamas. I'm gonna mute my mic.
I'm gonna be ill now because she.
Do it, Tom. Do it, Tom. Do it.
Yeah.
She was born in Hackensack, New Jersey, and grew up in Clifton.
Oh boy.
And Zegler, and she went to the Immaculate Conception High School. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Zegler also noted the internet helped her eventually discover people who looked like her. Then she goes to name a few quote unquote beauty muses who inspired her. Despite having just said a lot of people in media never looked the way she did, she personally named Sofia Vergara, Selma Hayek, and a few others. And Selma Hayek's been around for a long time. Critics quickly pointed out a major issue with Zegler's claim that beauty media was Eurocentric when she was a child. Zegler's own timeline overlaps with decades of highly visible Latina actresses, as I just pointed out earlier. Singers, models who dominated beauty campaigns, magazine covers, and Hollywood films. Zegler's timeline raises questions because she was born in 2001, meaning her teenage years roughly spanned 2014 to 2020. At that point, Latin representation in entertainment and beauty media had already been widespread for more than 2 decades. So, and this goes over some of the most recognizable Latina actresses and pop culture icons during that era. That included Jennifer Lopez, Selma Hayek, Jessica Alba, Eva Longoria, Penelope Cruz, Rosario Dawson, Michelle Rodriguez, and America Ferrera, just to name a few. And as far as beauty campaigns, you look at Joanne Smalls, Yamila Diaz-Rahi, spokesperson for CoverGirl with Sports Illustrated, Christy Turlington, Marina Perez, Jessica Caban. I mean, these again, Latin pop icons. Latin pop culture icons were everywhere, as the
Well, we got
article
somebody
goes
probably
on
could
to
speak
say.
on this.
I would imagine we do. Erica,
And the heavens opened, and
Our
the light has
own-
come
So
down.
funny.
Thank you, God.
Erica
Okay.
is
Oh my gosh.
our own
Erica's
Latina
It's not,
icon.
it's not the banter, so you got to keep it PG.
Well,
Yes, I'm aware.
It's gonna
I'm
be
just
hard
teasing you.
on this story. Do you know? Have you heard what we're talking about, Erica?
No, but I just came in, so I just saw the Rachel Zegler thing and how she thinks she's like the first Hispanic to like come on scene, I guess, in Hollywood or whatever.
She did this in an interview with Harper's Bazaar. And let me just give you the quote. Let me see if I can back up and find the quote. Okay, so this was her quote. I already played the clip, but she said, "When I was younger, my approach to beauty was a lot more shaped by what I was witnessing in big pieces of media. So it was who was on magazine covers, beauty commercials, was in movies considered the most beautiful star at the time." And then she says, "It was very Eurocentric as I was growing up. And being a young Latina, that was hard because not a lot of people looked the way I did, except you go down to the timeline of when she was growing up. And she was born in 2001, meaning her teenage years, her growing up years when she would have been interested in beauty would have been about 2014 to 2020. And this article by a good friend Marvin Montanaro goes over just a few of the many Latina people that were in the media. Have you ever found a shortage of Latina actors or actresses out there in media, Erica?
No, not at all. I think we're pretty well represented. I mean,
do you really think we're well represented, or do you think that Hollywood has taken the Latina woman and sexualized her over all these decades of films? Like, okay, she's a Latina, so we have to portray the upper carriage and the back carriage. Rosario Dawson is probably one of the only ones I can think of that have done pretty decent movies. Her acting skills are great, and she didn't have to show her body. And
America Ferrera
appreciated her. America Ferrera, yeah, that's another one. But she was also bullied because of the way that she looked.
See, I mean,
it really boils.
Go ahead.
It really boils down to the family. Having been in Catholic youth ministry for 7 years, and then growing up, not just Catholic, but also Baptist. It really boils down to the family and what's happening at home and what conversations are being held at home and there again, to your point, MJ, what parents are allowing and not allowing in terms of exposure. But at the same time, if you're going to shield your kids, especially girls, from which it's exceedingly hard when they're going to public school, because one way or another, the exposure is there, which is why the conversations have to be had at home. And if you're ignoring the conversation and just hoping that going to church once a week is going to convince them somehow to be conservative, it's not enough. Have to go you have to be a parent. You can't let institutions raise your kids. You've got to fill in that role, and then put them in extra activities that help you as a parent promote that goal, of your child wanting to choose that kind of modesty and essentially chastity, too, because there is a level of that with Christian parenting. But modesty, at the very.
I mean, the big question. I mean, if you're saying, okay, so maybe her parents sheltered her from some of the exposure to Latin actresses because the Latin actresses were too overexposed. But when I watch things like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is led by two Latin actresses, you're talking about people that were wearing full police gear, and even one of them was supposed to be pregnant during like one full season of the show, and so they definitely were not portrayed that way. What I've seen, actually, you're not wrong, I think, MJ, in the way Latinas were portrayed, especially in the 1990s and maybe in the leading into the early 2000s. And there are some that lean into that, obviously, like Jennifer Lopez. Obviously,
I was just going to say J-Lo is like one of the worst examples, and she's in her 50s.
Yeah, and she leans into that, and that's how she is. Her and who's the other one that plays Gazelle in Zootopia? Shakira.
Yeah, I don't care for any of those people.
But my point is, as we got into the 2000s and 2010s, then a lot of the Latina actresses weren't doing that. Getting back to the point, though, of the article is the fact that Rachel Zegler certainly had the opportunity to be exposed to a lot of Latin actresses, beauty queens, icons, whatever you want to call them, where if she was looking for somebody that looked like her, she certainly would have. I mean, my point is Rachel Zegler, in what she was saying, it sounded like she was trying to say, I'm unique, I'm different, I didn't get to see a lot of people that look like me when I was growing up. And yet the point is of the article that they're everywhere. Like there's plenty of people that look like you, as well as, Eurocentric people, as well as African Americans, as well as everybody else out there. So now comes the time where we would love to know your thoughts. Put your thoughts down below in the comments. Has Rachel Zegler completely tanked her career? Could she ever make a comeback after this? And honestly, when she's making comments like this, what is the point? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below before you go out the door. Thank you so much for coming in today. Please do click that like button down below before you go, the hype button if there is one. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and do click that notification bell. When you click it, you stick it to the YouTube algorithm. You get notified of all of our uploads here at Follow the Bradleys Fun. Thank you so much, and until next time, we will see ya real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao! Let's keep the fun going, shall we? For our Epic Universe vlog, click right over here. For all of our family vlogs, you'll want to click right over here. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click right here to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. We'll see ya real soon. Ciao!